This is anime action fantasy called I'm Quitting Heroing. Leo recalls the conflicts as he enters the old demon fortress. He enters the throne room and finds the Demon Queen Echidna and her 4 generals waiting for him. He did not submit his application to join the demon army, which surprised everyone. Nevertheless, at dinner, the Demon Queen rejects his application and blasts fire magic at him. After all, he was the hero who originally foiled their invasion. After being rebuffed, he asked the 4 generals for a secret meeting, boasting that he had previously defeated them single-handedly, despite the fact that the dragon general had Bard was physically the strongest, but he used magic to defeat him. The shadowless general, Murns, is a peerless assassin who blew himself with an AoE spell. They were fighting for the entire church. He met Beast General Lily while she had amnesia and looked after her for a few days. When his memories returned and he defeated her, she instantly became his biggest admirer. Finally, he effortlessly overcame Sorcerer General Echidna in physical combat by casting an anti-magic barrier. He also tells why he stopped being the hero after being defeated at Echidna. The humans thought him to be so powerful and nasty that Bearden exiled him. He walked around, deceived and without a purpose, until he heard that the Demon Queen was recruiting. After hearing his account, he decided to join their army and exact revenge on humanity. The demon generals agree to let him work in secret. Later that night, as a temporary employee, Leo gazes over the Demon Queen's throne and wonders about anything strange. He witnessed a conflict that should have ended. Her army must stop killing indiscriminately. So why the following morning, Leo assists Echidna and her job. He examines Tina's activities and determines that she is highly overworked after he vanquished the demon army, and the majority of them returned to the demon regions, leaving just in a bus to shoot. Leo usually volunteers to execute one of her jobs to replenish the mana reactors she built. Mana reactors can only be filled by those who created them, although he can adjust his mana wavelengths to fit others. After 30 minutes, Leo disguises himself and leaves from his office. Here turns till he shows Tina that he has completed the mission. Tina is going to assign him a new duty when he informs her that he is still weary. After 2 hours. Tina is now enraged because Leo is still sleeping. She is about to reprimand him. Someone has knocked. It was filming. Has subordinates reporting to her that the mana reactors have been depleted. Leo, it turns out, provided her employees talismans and instructed them on how to fill the mana reactors. Not only did he reduce her workload permanently, but he had also been studying her work and discovered extra duties. She is capable of efficiently delegating to others. As a reward, he asks Tina for a kiss and a shoe, and Tina launches magic at him again later that night. Tina assigns Leo his next task, to assist Lillian in repairing their supply chain. Dragon inhabitants from the Largo Islands had long been mistreated by humans, therefore they backed Edge unreservedly. It has invasion and supplies the majority of their needs. Regrettably, Lily is in charge of their logistics. Normally, the Leo accompanied them in the next supply run in a playful manner. When they get in Largo, the demons are about to begin carrying the goods when Lily intervenes. And instead propose they eat for the day. Leo sees that they can easily finish the project if they share the labor, but it certainly won't happen under Lily's leadership. When Leo tries to order the demons, they remind him that they need permission from Lily, and the dragon folk are furious at the demons for damaging their crops. So, Leo devises a strategy to educate Lily how to properly lead by pretending to be ill from a snake bite and forcing her to go through many challenges, much to Lily's astonishment. Brute force breezes through all of the challenges without the assistance of her servants. He even attempted to instruct her while disguised as a minstrel. But she basically did whatever she wanted, and with his plan ruined, he opted to just sleep for the night. The next day, Lily suggests the same division of tasks to him. He was the king of it, and it turns out she did listen to the minstrel last night. Leo believes that instructing her what to do will not work and that he must force her into the predicament. But it turns out that simple ideas will enough. He informs Ina about their excellent job. Tina informs Leo the next day that Edna herself has summoned him. It appears that he has provided all of his assistance. Perhaps you finally piqued the demonic queen's interest. Leo understands that Echidna is as powerful as had prohibited Echidna. As a result, he is concerned that she will be able to see through his disguise. When he meets Echidna, she just asks him to dinner and drinks. She also forcibly removed his helmet, but he instantly changed his expression, and Edge's intoxicated state prevented her from suspecting anything in order to flee their dinner. Leo attempts to make a chin and drunk her, but even after several bottles, she still doesn't go down. He then tries to engage with her over food and informs her that he has a condition that prevents him from removing his helmet for extended periods of time. However, she only recommended that they enjoy the night. Leo realizes that they shouldn't. His invading purpose is to obtain the Philosopher's Stone from humans and resurrect the dying demon lands. She has no desire to kill anyone, but rather to make the demon lands productive. She isn't even mad at the hero, who is simply doing his job as a protector. The humans at Chitness are serious. Makes Leo want to confess his true identity, but Tina and Lily arrive unexpectedly. Marines flee after receiving bad news. When Edward is attempting suicide after getting the letters from the two generals, Leo volunteers to go after the Marines and speak with him. They meet in the wilderness outside and pause to converse, but Leo covertly casts an unburned magic chain. So he can't flee because he knows he won't be able to catch up to the assassin's speed or stealth after a while. Marines. Finally, Peaks approaches him and informs him that he must conduct interviews with fresh agents and spies. He needs to be dynamic and commanding, yet he's not a terrific public speaker. He hoped to learn something if he flees and visits several towns first, but now he just has to let Leo teach him. Leo subsequently announces to the others that he successfully stopped Marines from fleeing. Meanwhile, Shannon informs him that Edward attempted suicide since he failed to teach his warriors. He attempted to stab himself, but all the swords kept violating Leo's pledges to aid them with Edvard once he had helped. Mertz trains further and improves his speech skills, while Leo disguises Isis and brings him to the cafeteria to work as a waiter. He instructs him to pretend he is the one eating and communicate with them based on how the other person is feeling. After all, a good communicator is also a good listener. Burns. Has he put what he's learned into practice? Offer food to his next clients, but the customer starts harassing him. Burns. Fortunately, the consumer is easily subdued and scolded later. Leo informs the Marines that he is already performing better than planned due to his ability to communicate with clients. He simply requires more practice. And for this, they have a fake interview in which Marines ponder seriously and directly question Leo why he actually wishes come with them. Burns is well aware that Leo has no desire to exact vengeance on humanity. After all, if he wanted to kill humanity, he is already strong enough. Leo laughs at Marines, employs astute conversation skills, and attempts to avoid the topic. But Merton insists on asking him again. Marin tells Leo about how his parents sold him and he was bought by an assassin's guild to be trained as an assassin. He despised humanity for it, which is why he joined the demon army. He was also disappointed when Mercy was shown to the people at Sydney's. She conquered the learn narrative, causing Leo to realize that he is learning a lot about the generals, from Tina's klutziness to Lily's devotion. Marine's adolescent anguish now shares his origins. He was born thousands of years ago in Tokyo when demons broke out of the ground, destroying humanity. They needed to strike back, so they created the ultimate bioweapon, the demon hearts. Leo is the only one who is still alive. They were only trained to do one thing: save the world. As a result, he became a hero for thousands of years. He was genuinely relieved when he was exiled since it meant he could finally stop being a hero. He could now do whatever he wanted and wished to join the devil. Burns is well aware that Leo has no desire to exact vengeance on humanity. After all, if he wanted to kill humanity, he is already strong enough. Leo laughs at Marines, employs astute conversation skills, and attempts to avoid the topic. But Merton insists on asking him again. Marin tells Leo about how it also lived long enough to realize that it shouldn't, and the generals were good. Folks, Marines are overwhelmed and perplexed by Leo's narrative, but Leo simply smiles and tells him that he will do well in his interviews. Meanwhile, Channel cherishes her favorite children's book. The Adventures of Brad. Leo begins his day by encountering Julieta, Edward's daughter, who is shouting about her father after their men are defeated by an arch-chimera. Edberg, one of the toughest monsters, believed his warriors weren't giving it their all, and he blamed himself. After considerable deliberation, Leo notices an update from Lily and finalizes his plan to assist Edvard. He informed the miners of his plans to include Chana and then escorted Lily to the Mayans. Leo activated the machine golem and let it assault Headband, and his men had barred orders his soldiers to attack the enemy, but their spears just bounced off. Surprising to Leo with its strong armor, the machine golem hits with a laser so powerful that Leo has to block it to save the soldiers. After the golem's constraints are lifted, the soldiers flee, leaving the advertisement to deal with. Using the golem, Leo was compelled to demonstrate how to vanquish the golem to Edvard. Golem summons additional golems, which worries Leo. It will derail his intentions, thankfully, and the others will arrive at the mines and halt them. Leo goes forward with his preparations and chastises Edvard for not giving his all. Battling the golem headboard, he tries to claim that this is his first time fighting one, but then discovers that he did the same thing. When he chastised his warriors for failing to defeat the chimera, Edvard ultimately recognizes his error, apologizes to his soldiers, and promises to be a better teacher in the future. H has decided to promote Leo to the position of permanent employee. Tina vows to support him and the other generals while Leo prepares to reveal his true identity to everybody. The NE-wheel is staring at the book. He was reading Ibrad's account and reminiscing about his experience with him, while Leo was still fighting for humanity in Tokyo thousands of years ago. Unlike other demons, the imp informs him that he wishes to be friends with humanity. He describes how Demon King Belial opened a portal and forced them to travel to the human realms. Demons are always at odds over scarce resources. Therefore, the idea of another planet appeals to many demons. However, the other demons attacked ruthlessly. A war began. When the imp attempted to return, the portal closed. The imp also introduces himself as Ibrad and befriends Leo. When Leo discusses his own origins, Ibrad asks him what he plans to do after the conflict, and he honestly believes he won't live because he is the weakest of the demon hearts. His only power is highly reactive, Leo's skill development. Then I brought it to the other humans, after expressing his desire to live beside them. When he goes, Ibrad advises him that if he ever finds himself in danger, he should forsake his search and live the life he desires. He convinces Leo to find something to live for and to appreciate life. Now, 3,000 years later, Leo smiles in recollection of Ibrad. His wise buddy, he disguises himself and travels to meet Gina in Chindi. Leo is on her 5th general when a servant enters in and tells her the terrible news: the demon portal is abruptly shutting after they briefly block it with their abilities. After closure, they hold an emergency meeting to determine their next course of action. They have two options. They either disband their army and return to the demon realms, or they assault humanity in search of the Philosopher's Stone. Regrettably, this should not be the case. They have no chance of defeating the hero Leo. Bus. Willie tries to persuade her that Leo has already defected to them, but she decides to disband their army. Tina comes to a halt. Leo wonders if she truly wants to establish a better world for the demons. When in Chennai, the answer is yes. He finally takes off his mask and displays his face to her. Leo tries to inform her that he knows of another Philosopher's Stone, but she bites her chin and blasts magic at him in rage. Later, Leo is bringing the others to the mountains, where the other Philosopher's Stone is located. Jana is still upset with him, but after hearing the other general speak, well, of him at supper, Anna chooses to accept him as they climb the mountain. Edge makes a pledge to make peace with humanity, because she no longer requires their Philosopher's Stone. He tells her that the story of Ibrad is true in that humans and demons can coexist at the top of the mountain. The other is perplexed because the Philosopher's Stone is nowhere to be discovered. Leo then stands up and informs them of the whereabouts of the Philosopher's Stone within him, the one who has kept him going all these years. He then renounces his allegiance to the Devil Army and orders the Tuna to murder him despite the fact that he was only a youngster. She'd heard stories about the hero before. They were always vanquished. She was certain that when she grew up, she would vanquish him in the present. It appears that her wish will be granted when Leo dares them to a battle at Jana. Tries to talk to him first, but Leo immediately strikes her. The generals try to stop him, but Leo fights them all. Suddenly he floods the entire sky with magic and says that he will just annihilate both humans and demons. Lily attempts to persuade him. Remembering how they've aided each other in the past, Leo fires a magical arrow towards her. This ultimately enrages the person who denounced his position as a hero, and they all assault Leo, but he defeats them one by one, freezing and burning. Edvard covers Marines in ice and electrocutes Lily when Chinna thinks they're going to lose, until she employs her hidden weapon. She instructs Tina to buy her time while she crafts the spell developed exclusively for the hero and passed down from Demon King to Demon King, just as Leo punched and beat Shu. Tina at Unicast the hero binding, spell anti-Leo. It should have no concerns that Leo might dodge her attack, but Leo just grins and expresses gratitude to her. Leo said that his first recollection was hearing the directive to safeguard mankind. He was initially pleased. moving from one place to the next, defeating evil. Thousands of years pass in this manner, and his abilities rapidly grow. Yet, when peace was restored on Earth, he was dissatisfied. A part of him wanted the world to be in danger until one day. He knows that he can just thrust the world into peril by himself, monster. Thought masking is a function of the heart that keeps it from thinking. Nevertheless, after thousands of years, Leo acquired an ego that was capable of turning it off. As a result, he begins a new project to produce a new batch of foes to endanger humanity on the day that Echidna, his army, attacks the news. Wow, Cleo, what were you thinking? He is not a hero, he is the true enemy. He rapidly wrecks his project and realizes he must perish. He must give up his heart, the philosopher's stone, to someone worthy. He was at Skina when he heard that. He became curious when her army prevented humans from being harmed. The more he hears about how demons admire her, the more he feels she might be the one, and the strike hits Leo, negating all his power, turning him become a normal human being. Meanwhile, it should be noted that the general is now recognizing that this is exactly what Leo intended. After all, the general stand-up attack and eventually defeat Leo. As Leo lies down defeated, his heart exposed to the world, the others approach him. And Echidna scolds him for having such a risky and reckless scheme. He then instructs them that they should just take his heart out before he can recover. At this point, Jin realizes that Leo is sacrificing himself so that the demons and humanity no longer have to battle over the philosopher's stone. He is truly a hero. She kneels over his chest, and Leo closes his eyes, preparing to die. Jenna, on the other hand, slaps him. Instead of stepping on him and scolding him for giving her another task when she is already overburdened with the demon army, she tells him that she will hire him as the human demon ambassador. He tries to get Edvard, Lily Murrens, and Tina to remove his heart, but they all admonish him. Leo reminds them of his order to preserve humanity, which may push him to build something that endangers mankind once more. But Tina tells him that he can simply switch off utilizing his ego. Leo is astounded that he hadn't considered this before. As he tested it, the command in his thoughts quickly halted the bus as Leo's chest heals. He accepts Jinna's extended hand the next day, after a lot of drinking, and Leo promises it, that he will make sure she is a kind queen and assist her in her construction. Out of nowhere, their subordinates burst in and report various difficulties in the army. The generals leave to help their subordinates, and Leo cheerfully walks after them to assist. And that's all for this video. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more recaps on all your favorite anime episodes, because you don't want to miss out.